Welcome to Bitesize Fiber, the podcast where we break down the biggest challenges and best practices shaping the future of fiber and telecom networks, one bite at a time. I'm your host, Ellie Puls, product manager at IQGeo, and in this series, we're diving into the complex world of network operations, where efficiency, accuracy, and real-time data are critical to keeping networks running at peak performance. Joining me today are two industry experts who know exactly what it takes to keep telecom networks up and running. James Roche, a seasoned field operations expert with hands-on experience in everything from routine maintenance to major outage recovery, and Stefan Schneider, a telecom network management specialist who helps operators modernize workflows and improve efficiency with cutting-edge digital tools. In this series, we'll explore the biggest challenges facing network operations today, from outdated records and siloed data to the constant struggle of keeping up with evolving infrastructure. But more importantly, we'll discuss how the industry is shifting towards real-time digital solutions that empower field teams, reduce downtime, and streamline troubleshooting. So whether you're a network operations leader, a field technician, or just passionate about the future of fiber networks, this series is packed with insights you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. So James, I know you have worked on everything from routine maintenance to major storm recoveries. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you've seen data access affect any kind of maintenance in the field?
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for over 25 years. The majority of that was in network maintenance. And then I've also been in construction and corporate America in the telecom industry. One of the big things that I found with data when it comes to maintenance in the field is really around location data and being able to track assets and find assets. So what I mean by that is it's easy to see things when you're in the field and it's aerial or it's front easement and there's boxes to be seen. But when you get into rear easement or say a metro area where it's inside of buildings, really having accurate location data for assets or the ability to have more data to get you there, because you're going to slow your process down if you're jumping from floor to floor in a high-rise building trying to find where the locations are instead of spending your time troubleshooting a problem.
Definitely. Stefan, have you seen anything that could help with that?
Yeah, this is where having a best practice approach where you can give your field teams more accurate information from a combination of systems in a device that they can actually access in the field where in the location doing work makes a lot of difference. So it's not just having the right information in the map and saying, hey, here's the location, but giving them the information around like, well, inside this location, what assets do they need to touch? You know, what does the splice closure look like? Which ports do they need to touch? Which fibers do they have to work with? Giving that information to end users and having that available on their phones makes a lot of difference between trying to hunt and peg for something to fix versus actually getting and fixing the problem in no time.
And also being able to, a lot of times you'll find in areas, there's either a locked door or someone you have to contact, especially if it's a business. You're troubleshooting a business issue, you've got to have a maintenance call. So who do you call? Where is that information? So being able to have some areas of the map that can show that, whether it's a picture or a contact card, something that makes that one tool, that phone in your hand, say, okay, this is where I need to go. This is who I need to call. This is where I need to get into this equipment because this is what I've got to be able to fix.
Yeah. And many telcos do have that information, but it happens to live in separate silos. There's no access between one system and even one department to another. So bringing all that data together into the same map is what makes technician access so much easier on the field because they can reference what they need to do for the job. They don't necessarily have to wait or call back to head office to find someone that has the information and waste time while they're on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And Stefan, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background and how you've seen this play out in IQGeo.
Absolutely. So I'm Stefan Schneider. I'm product manager for telecoms at IQGeo. I've been in the industry for almost 30 years in everything from network planning, network architecture, product management, and software companies and equipment companies. So kind of being around the block a little bit. It's interesting because I've seen the evolution of operations from in my early days where you had to send someone to do something at a customer location, and that, required people to print out reams of paper with the address, the configuration, what you were going to do to the customer, who to call, and basically see them struggle with trying to do a routine install or a maintenance call that should have been fixed in an hour or two, taking sometimes entire days or entire weeks, right? Because there was, that big back and forth. And as we start to move towards the concept of digital transformation and having all the records digitized, I've seen this becoming much more automated and practical for the people in the field. Where I see that there's still room to grow and space to actually do something different is that we're still at a point where we have, like we mentioned before, a lot of separation, artificial separation between systems and data, right? Like your customer data, it's sometimes inaccessible to the customer services reps that are doing maintenance on the field. And we need to start working on better processes to get that data across the different silos in a way that protects customer privacy and meets regulations, but also in a way that actually is effective for people and can be displayed on the tool. But I think the key change, the most important change alongside that, it's the fact that you can now have all this stuff available to you on the phone. So there's no longer the logging of a laptop, a whole folder of papers, and a piece of heavy equipment to do these things. You can just simply show up with a phone in your pocket and have all the information that you need to actually get a customer up and running or fix a problem with the tools that you have in your van.